This is my Halloween build at 2024, where I built the H.P. Lovecraft creature Cthulhu. This is another good exercise in thinking through problems and learning what not to do on loads on your PVC pipe. In order to make the tentacles, I use pool noodles that I cut in half lengthways and cardboard disc. I cut notches in the cardboard so that the pool noodles would fit flush against it, and then use duct tape to hold it down. The skin is the plastic sheeting that you use to block weeds. You can get it from the gardening section of your hardware store. Use the plastic stuff, not the fiber stuff. Use duct tape to hold all that together. During the build process, I should have added the attachment loops to the top sections, but didn't. But I put that in later, and it worked out okay. I ended up making 3 pairs of 2, but only used the large and medium sections for the build. Here's the layout and fitting of the tentacles to the cardboard base. This is where paracord was run through the base section of the tentacles and then through the holes in the cardboard to make it a single unit. The 2 top flaps of the cardboard there were cut off, and then ultimately the base section and the tentacles were spray foamed to the head section. Later, I was thinking it might have been a better idea to leave the tentacle section separate and then tie it to the head section when it got in the frame for the Halloween, but this I think worked out a little bit better for the cleanup detail plastic that I'll show you later. Did have to be careful with the tentacles as they seemed to be a bit fragile and didn't want too much activity to cause them to fall apart. Here's the head section getting spray foamed together and support sections getting taped down. I had to make sure the boxes in the middle of the cardboard have an equal distance on both sides from the edge, so I have a symmetrical face. For the face shape, we just marked down lines on the cardboard and cut off what we didn't need to kind of make something that looked appropriate for a Cthulhu. I used 1/2-inch PVC pipe to hold the head section in place on the frame, so I had to cut holes on the back side of that box that we then duct taped to prevent extra tearing. And then the back of the box was left open so we could reach in and help maneuver that PVC pipe through there. There'll be a shot of that later. Here's the face section with the eyes and skull supports to give it some shape and definition. Remember, we like dust-free cardboard and plenty of small sections of duct tape so no one piece can compromise these supports. And let it cure. For the skin, use more of the weed-blocking plastic sheets, which also give the skin some texture. I laid the bottom and top sections down and taped the free ends and the external edges to the back of the cardboard. The middle section was spray glued down and allowed to set before cutting the eye holes and spray gluing them down also. Here we are doing the body frame setup test. The box section at the top was checked beforehand to make sure that the head section would fit into it correctly. The hinge was about 9 feet off the ground when it was set up. The front and back panels were cut to size and painted to give it some contrast from the tentacles. And then the panels would be taped down before getting elevated on Halloween, but the side panels would be added after getting it set up. Here we are doing the head and frame check. You can see the 1/2-inch PVC pipes that are ran through the box to hold it in place. The box rests on the frame with the top back PVC pipe keeping it from falling out to the ground, and the bottom front pipe keeping it from going too far back and damaging the tentacles when added later. To install this correctly, it requires the frame to be a few feet off the ground. To do this with tentacles and wings, the difficulty goes up and additional helping hands are required. Here's the head section and the tentacle section spray foamed together. As mentioned earlier, the cleanup detail plastic was added at the bottom of the face to hide the cardboard base of the tentacles and was cut to fit between the tentacles to give it a more uniform appearance. On the right is the wing section, the pipes and the plastic that would be used that will get taped down and cut to make the wings. A lesson learned here is that due to the weight of the wings and pipes, I should use PVC pipe on all of the connections, especially the joint section that would become part of the frame. I only used duct tape and the stresses popped it loose, causing the wings to not be as prominent as I wanted. To connect the wings to the frame next to the head, 1.5-inch PVC pipe was tied and taped to the outside of the frame so that the short section of the wing in the photo could slide in. Here is a layout of the head section in the right wing. This is what I wanted it to look like while set up, but due to the connections only being taped and not cemented, this did not happen. A lesson learned. I had to get on a ladder to take this photo. Here's the head section in the left wing. Had the wings worked out the way I wanted, they would have had a span of over 12 feet across. Here's Cthulhu set up and standing about 15 feet tall. I had to have an additional PVC pipe that went across the back of the head to tape the wings to so as to get them to have some spread. Else, even what you see here would not have happened. I had two 30-pound dumbbells with guidelines on the side to keep him steady, and a 40-pound kettlebell underneath tied to the back support to keep him from falling forward. However, a good gust of wind at the end of the night did faceplant him into the yard. Fortunately, no one was underneath him to get hurt. Another fun project to work on and learn from, and already thinking about next year. Thanks.